Happy Saturday. I hope you've had a great week. So again, Batmobile is on hiatus, but we have a new kind of interesting, non-typical Lego set coming your way today on BrickScale Studio. Welcome back to BrickScale Studio. My name is Jeff. Thank you so much for joining me. So as I mentioned in the intro, sort of an interesting set. We have the Lego message board. You can kind of see it behind me there. Yeah, this was an interesting set. I haven't done one like this, ever, really. It was a very interesting set. Lots of choices to be made. Lots of creativity to explore. So let's get into the build and then we can talk about it after. Here is message board. It is set 41839 with 1,743 pieces. You can build together 1 to 5 people. So let's take a look at this. As I mentioned in the introduction, not quite sure. I anticipate this being highly repetitive, building letters and things over and over, but let's see what we can make of it. Alright, so we have a number. Actually, we have no numbered bags. These are all unnumbered, so this will be interesting. Here's a little manual, so let me get this kind of organized and we will be right back. Okay, so this is interesting. So as I mentioned, none of the bags are numbered. So you get this sort of instruction booklet that kind of has some information about the set. And then here you build sort of this base that it will sit on. And then it shows you how to build the little constructions. Well, the instructions in the manual, it gives you step-by-step instructions to do this. But then, if you go to page 58, there are all these other pre-configured, everything is awesome, home is where your bricks are, happy birthday, there's some other languages, creativity, imagination, curiosity. Today's going to be a great day. There's always room for ice cream. Home sweet home. So then it gives you sort of different, so how to configure. So if you want to do home is where your bricks are, it gives you the configuration for the structure to put the letters on. And then if you want to do happy birthday. Again, it gives you the instructions on how to configure the structure to put the letters on. And then, so that's the pre-configured ones. Of course, you can make your own. So they give you these little poster guides here so on how to build the letters. So this one is A through H. And then we have I through P, Q through X, and then Y, Z, and then some special characters here for different languages. So I think probably the best thing to do is sort of decide if we're going to do one of the pre-made messages. So let's go back to page 58 here and see what some of those are. So yeah, these are all on one page, yeah. So everything is awesome. Home is where your bricks are. Happy birthday. Creativity, imagination, curiosity. Today's going to be a great day. There's always room for ice cream. What will you build today? So I think I want to do, of course, something not one of these. So let's see if we can create like just one that maybe just says BrickScale Studio. Try that and see how that works out. So I guess what I'm going to do first is build the letters, and then we'll build the structure to put the letters on. So it says, are you new to Lego building? No problem. The instructions are so easy to follow that soon you and all your favorite people will be ready to go off script and write your own lines vertically and or horizontally with up to 30 characters. So when you have built all the letters you need, go to page 58 for instructions on how you can combine your letters and assemble your display. So it seems like they want you to kind of, rather than start here, because this is, remember, the step-by-step instructions for this message here. So we want ours, I think, just 3 lines maybe. So let's build our letters first, and then we'll figure out how to construct the sort of supporting structure to support all of that. All right, so I'm going to start opening some bags and building some letters. Okay, so there is a B. So yeah, this is going to be very tedious because the parts are all jumbled around in numerous different bags. And so let me get the letters built, and then we'll come back and work on the structure. All right, so as you can see, I've got some letters built here, and I thought I'd bring you back to show you the last few letters now that I sort of know where the parts are. I'm not fumbling around. It goes pretty quick. So we're going to build the last letters I need to build. I need to build an R, a T, a U, and 2 S's. So let's do the R first. Okay, so I think I have all of my letters built that I need. So, as you can see, there are a ton of parts left over, so this would be kind of a good part pack to do your little message board, and then you'll have all of these leftover parts. So let me get all this cleared away, and then we'll start working on the base so that we can display the letters. Okay, so here are all of our letters. Hopefully I spelled it all correctly upside down here. So let's put these aside. So we get into... All right, so the first thing we're building are sort of these little feet sections. So we're going to build 4 of those. All right, so we have our base here. So, yeah. So these little discs left over, these little round tiles, they are for the emoji things you can put on, but they're all stickers, so you have to apply stickers to each one of these. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. In fact, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So that's what these are for. And then we have 4 of these white pieces left over. So I'm not sure how we'll utilize those going forward, but we shall see. All right, so the next thing, we're going to be using a bunch of these, a bunch of these, a bunch of these. So the rest is kind of all Technic stuff. Let me just flip through here and then I will be right back. Okay, so I think I figured out the system. So basically your letters are going to attach to these. So we're going to put little jumpers in the four corners and then they're going to sit on there like that. So basically what you want to do is you take one of these for each letter, and then you have one of these spacers in between. So you don't put one on the end. So for example, like if we're doing brick, so we're going to spell brick. So I'm going to go B, R, I, C, K. Right? B-R-I-C-K. So that spells brick. And so we do that for each row. And then if we want to go vertical, then we sort of use these to go vertical. So if we want to have sort of a space, I mean, we could go just like this. I'm guessing we would need to put, yeah, so we would put one of these in between if we want to just go like this. If we want to have a space and do something like this, then we need to figure something to hide these pieces. We could probably just put a blank, you know, just a blank plate to hide the vertical spacing. But that's how it goes. So let me get the frame built, and I'll probably do that in time lapse because it should go pretty quickly. And then we'll put the letters on. All right, so we got the frame done. So probably overkill with these supports because we're not going, the one in the manual, they're going, they're leaving an open space in the middle like too high. So you can see here, but mine are all like together. So probably didn't need any of this, but it is very secure. So the next thing we are going to do is put it on the one of, so we only, again, since we're not doing crazy long, we only need 2 of these bases. So that's what these extras are for. So once you sort of get the base on, then you secure it with these. So it's like so. And then now we're going to put our letters on. So basically we put, we have a whole bunch of these. And so we're just going to put one in each corner. And then the letters are just going to sit sort of right on there like so. All right, so let's get that going. All right, so that is all of the little jumpers in. So now it's just a matter of putting the letters on. All right, and that is it. So, kind of cool. I mean, a little repetitive. Actually, a lot repetitive. You're doing a lot of the same thing over and over and over, especially when it comes to the back here and doing all that. And you can. The nice thing about it is we did something very simple here, but you can do something very get creative. I only used, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16 letters. So supposedly you can have up to 30 characters. So yeah, I mean, get creative. I'm not sure how many, I mean, you'll need to kind of plan out your letters because I'm not sure how many, I don't have a lot of repeats. I have 2 S's, 2 E, no, 1 E, 2 C's. So I have a couple of repeats, so I'm not sure, you know, it says 30 characters, but I'm sure, like, if you have something with 5 S's or something, you might run into some part problems. But just be creative. Actually, I might find something to put in here to make it sort of more square. I mean, I don't know. And then, yeah, there are these sort of emoji things that you can, you know, put these stickers on and you can attach them at various spots, you know. But, yeah, I'm not really... None of them are very cool, and I'm not into, like, putting stickers on all these little pieces. But, yeah, again, like I said, the manual will come with step-by-step instructions to create this exact message, or you can get some other inspiration. If you turn to page 58, there is a bunch of other, if you keep going, so this is Everything is Awesome, so here's sort of the support structure for that. Again, if you go into these other ones, they sort of give you those. But if you do something on your own, then, you know, you kind of do it, you make it up as you go. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, that is the message board. And we do actually have two sort of feet, I guess, or stands. So we could construct another frame and make some more letters and have 2 signs if we want. So maybe we'll do that. All right, so I did go ahead and create another one with the pieces I had left. So again, this kind of on our sort of farewell motto, happy building, take care, be kind to each other. Did it very similar to the other one. Again, probably overkill on these connection pieces because it's not very tall or heavy, but I had the pieces, so I went ahead and did it. So I created all but one of the characters, so you can have 30 characters. I did 29, so I could create one more something to put here or here, like a, I don't know, a little dash or a curly sign or something. But and again, I didn't run out of any pieces. I have 3 A's. I have 2 in this one, 1 in the other one. So if we bring the other one back over, so I kind of did it. I mean, even though obviously they don't go together, but yeah, so that is the message board. And just one idea, like I said, you can get super creative however you want to make it your own. And that will do it for the message board. Okay, so that was the message board. I actually ended up having more fun with it toward the end than I thought I was going to at the beginning. This would definitely be a fun project to do, like if you had kids and you could kind of, you know, sit at the dining room table and, you know, dump all the pieces out and everybody could, you know, build letters and that kind of thing. For me, it was, I don't know, a little tedious at times, but not overly so. The most sort of frustrating part of it was that none of the bags were numbered. So building the first few letters was very slow because you're trying to remember like where the pieces that you need are and trying to find them and that kind of thing. But as I showed in the build video, once I got going, like it became faster and I was like, oh yeah, I need this, this, and this, and I remembered where everything was and it was all good and everything. But yeah, I mean, this one is definitely one for creativity. I did some very basic stuff. I mean, you could get very elaborate and do more like crossword type things where you've got these big sort of sculptures almost. Mine are just very simple 3 lines. But I did use 29 of the 30 characters, so you can have 30 characters total. But you can configure those characters any way you want. And as I mentioned in the build video, I'm not sure, like piece count wise, how many, like if you're trying to do a phrase that has a lot of the same repeating letter, I don't know, like I have some of mine, like I think I have 3 A's, 2 P's, a couple of S's. So I didn't have a problem. I don't know, depending on the phrase you're trying to spell, you might run into a problem with pieces to create the letters if you have a lot of repeats. So just bear that in mind. And other than that, I thought it was a pretty decent set. It's $99. Obviously, as everybody says nowadays, it would have been nice if it was maybe $79, if it was a little bit cheaper. But you do get a lot of pieces. And as I mentioned in the build portion, it would be a great thing to get if you have like a specific message that you want to display and you have a ton of pieces left over. So it's a great parts pack. So if you're looking for white and sort of that sand tan color, that dark tan color, you get a ton of pieces in those colors. Not only do you get plates, but you also get tiles, you get curve pieces. So yeah, it's a great parts pack to add to your bulk parts. So that's one good thing to look at. So let's see what's coming up on the channel here. Let's see. Yeah, so obviously next week we are, moving right along with our Optimus Prime build. We have a Titanic progress report coming up, but be sure to tune in next Saturday. We are still not doing the 1966 Batmobile series. We're still waiting for those parts. We're doing another mini Batmobile. A few weeks ago, we did a smaller 1966 Batmobile. This time, we're doing a small, like minifigure scale. It's not the big one that came out several years ago. It's a minifigure scale size 1989 Batmobile. But there's some exciting news attached to that, so we will get into that. So be sure to tune in next week. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to reach those subscriber milestones so that we can give away some free Lego sets. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It's totally free. Also, once we have the contest open for the Lego giveaway, that is totally free as well, including the shipping. I cover the shipping to you, so you have nothing to lose. Totally free. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you won't miss your opportunity to win. Plus, you won't miss the episode next week with that cool announcement. And until we see each other again, happy building, take care, be kind to each other, and I'll see you soon.